Okay. I'm here today to demonstrate the SaniServ 527 twin twist soft serve machine. And there's a few things that make the SaniServ machines unique. One is we have about 25% fewer parts in the machine than what most of our competition does. And second thing is we have an AccuFreeze control, which measures the amp load on the motors as opposed to a torque type system in order to get consistent ice cream all the time. So we're not measuring the temperature of the ice cream or anything like that. What we're measuring is the load on the motor, and that way every time when that machine pulls down and shuts off, you'll have the same consistent product coming out of the machine. And I'll get into that a little bit more in a minute. But just going through setting up the machine, all these parts have been washed, they've all been lubricated and everything, and that's something you definitely want to do first. Inside of the mix pan, you have your carburetor tube, which has a small gasket on it here, or an O-ring. And then we also have in our mix pans a magnetic driven stir motor. And so this little stir motor goes in here and just sits on a magnet, and as that magnet turns, it'll turn that that beater on top. So that's the pieces that you put inside the mix pan.
What's the advantage of that?
The advantage of that is that it will keep the mix in the mix pan circulating, and it does two things. Number one, it ensures that we're going to be at 41 degrees in the mix pan, and it also ensures that all your emulsifiers and your stabilizers and everything will stay, with the mix. It's not going to separate in the mix pan. Okay, inside each barrel is going to be a dasher that's going to have our rear seal on it. This has lubrication on there, keeping it on. Which is this rubber, pressure bushing on a plastic collar, and then that slides onto the dasher. And then our scraper blades, which do go on a holder. These also have a line on them to show where the wear line is, and again, that's an inexpensive part that can be replaced as part of our tune-up kits. And this just goes on the holder and slides in the long end first, then the back end, and then we have a stabilizer rod in the middle. And then that's all there is to assembling our dasher, and that's going to slide in the barrel. Put it in and give it a little twist until it goes in, and that's in. I like to, when I put these machines together, I like to do the inside first. And again, these are already assembled, but you get the idea that there's not much to it. In place. Okay, next thing is our faceplate. This has two gaskets that go in here that get some lubrication, and then you have the plungers that you also lubricate, and there's a couple O-rings on those. You assemble those in there, then put the handles on, and then a pin to hold that. And that's really all there is for our faceplate. You can take the faceplate, put it on the front of the machine, and it's very important when you're putting this on that you alternate as you're tightening from side to side, so that faceplate walks down on the front of the unit, not pulled to one side or the bottom or something like that. That way you'll get those gaskets to seat in there the way you want them to. So I'm going to turn that one a little bit, turn this one a little bit, and so on.
Oh, shoot.
So what happens, Steve, if the customer neglects to lubricate those lubrication points? Does it affect
the parts? Yeah, the parts will wear prematurely.
Okay.
Big time. Yeah. So you definitely want to lube those places, and that's all covered in the instruction manual, as well as every machine gets a CTS, what we call a certified training and start. And so a technician will come out, go through the machine, make sure that all the settings on the machine are correct. But while he's there, he's also going to train the operator on what parts they need to lubricate and how they need to put that together.
Is this done daily?
Yes, that's a really good question. It's one we get all the time. If you want the best life out of your machine and the best product to your customer, you need to break the machine down every day, wash all the parts, let them air dry overnight, and then reassemble that machine in the morning. You can dispense the mix that's left in the machine and put that in a container and put it in the refrigerator, and then reuse that mix the next day. That's okay. But leaving the mix in the machine, number one is it's going to be harder on the machine itself because it's running all night long. Also, doesn't matter whose machine you're using, the more time the mix is in the machine, the more chance you have for separation in that mix. And so eventually your mix is going to get grainy and that kind of stuff, and so you don't have a desirable product after a period of time. So yeah, for the best product and the best life out of your machine, you want to break it down every day and clean it up. In order to do that, we're going to get 2 gallons of water. And we're going to I've got every machine comes with a sample bottle of no-rinse sanitizer. You can use any sanitizer as long as it has some milkstone remover in it. That's something you want to look for. And we give you a bottle to start out with. So you're going to take 2 gallons of water and 1 pump of that sanitizer, and then pour the sanitizer in the machine. And hearing it bubbling there is a good thing.
So it doesn't matter where the water goes, Steve.
What's that?
Doesn't matter which compartment the water goes, or.
No, you need to sanitize both sides.
Okay,
yes.
So this is just for sanitization. That's
Correct.
it. Yeah.
Correct. Yep. Now I'm going to take one of the brushes that we supply with the machines.
Yeah.
And kind of go around the mixed pans and down in that hole. We have DVDs, and like I say, the instruction manual goes into more depth instructions about this process. So you always want to consult those. You can also take a little sanitizer on your brush and sanitize the inside of the lids. Turn this machine on clean out. It just turns on all the moving parts, but does not turn on the refrigeration. We'll let it run for a couple of seconds. This is contact sanitizer, so you don't have to leave it in there for 15 minutes or anything like that. Basically, when it hits the surface, it's going to sanitize. Then you can drain the machine. Now, even though we've drained all this out, there's still a little bit of sanitizer left in the machine. And the way we're going to get that out of the machine is to chase it out with some mix. So I'm going to get some ice cream mix in a cup. I'm going to pour it around the inside of this mix pan while somebody else holds the handle down and in the dispense position until that ice cream starts running through there, as ice cream. So graciously pour mix the rinse from the back and just get a full cup of that. Pour it around that. Machine on. You want to put a lid on? Okay.
There it goes.
Feel that refrigeration kick in.
Show you one, and then you guys can do one. So I'm going to pull the handle down all the way and fill the bottom of the cone. And then...
Oh gosh, that's plenty.
Yeah.
So this one's mine. You gotta
Okay,
make
good.
Here you go.
Alright, so pull it down and then kind of hold it.
Yeah,
the one
fill
on the
the
left
Fill the bottom.
straight shot.
Fill the bottom of the
Oh,
cone
the-
first.
Up. Oh, no, down. Down, just down.
So I kind of push it in there, and then then fill the cone from there. Make little circles.
That's good.
Now pull straight down. You'll get that little...
Look at that. That's a cutie.
That's a cute one.
Passenger pouring in and out on there. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
There you go. Look at that.
Uh-oh.
At the end, just pull straight down. Everybody wants to pull it out. Okay. I want to talk about something that will come up. And this is a great thing for SaniServ, I think. And that is, people ask us, why does a Taylor machine have a standby switch on it, but you guys don't have a standby switch? I'm going to answer that a couple ways. Number one, if it's that important to the operator, we can put a standby switch on our machine. What a standby switch does is it lengthens the time between the times that the machine kicks on. Okay, this machine right now, I think will run. It'll sit idle between the times that it shuts off. I think 10 minutes. And what a standby switch does is it lengthens that to 25 minutes. Okay, so it's going to kick on every 25 minutes just to circulate that stuff a little bit, and it also doesn't stay on and pull the ice cream down as hard as what it does when it's not in standby. So that's what a standby switch does. Like I said, we don't have them on our machines as standard, but we can put them on there. A lot of operators think that, it's great, and Taylor will tell you, hey, turn your carb tubes upside down and put your machine on standby and leave it all night long. Okay? Well, again, whenever I started the presentation, I talked about that we really want these machines broken down every night for the health of the machine and also the product that you're putting out there. If you want your best product and your best life out of your machine, you need to break it down and clean it every night. So that's why we do not have standby switches on our machine, because by not having a standby switch, it just reinforces the fact to the operator that, hey, you need to break that machine down every night. You need to take the mix out of there, put it in the refrigerator if you have some left over, and then clean this machine. Okay? A standby switch makes it too easy for them to just go, oh, I'll flip it on standby, and then, next Friday I'll clean the machine. And that's not something that is good for anybody. Okay? And check your local codes, but most areas have a code that says when the bacteria cycle and that mix has to be broken. And what that means is we can use the same mix for a certain period of time, but then at some point, after 5 days or 7 days, is usually what the code is, you have to throw all that mix away, clean the machine, and then start with new mix. And that is the your local code's minimum requirement, okay, under the health guidelines. But again, we don't use a standby switch because we want those operators to break down the machine and clean it at